This message has been brought to you by the Innercircle.
Thank you for having me. I'm doing much better with the new medications I'm on and stuff. I'm getting better every day. It's been a slow recovery, and I still am recovering from it. When I finally went in to see the doctor about my heart attack, I was told I had multiple heart attacks over the past 6 months, and didn't even until the last one that woke me up and got my attention and said, time to go see the doctor. Actually, I was in and out for what they did. From when I had my heart attacks and stuff, I went in and saw the doctors. They went and sent me to a specialist in Amarillo, which is an hour away, and they did all kinds of testing with me, and told me I had multiple blockage around my heart. And so friends were asking me on Facebook about it, and I told them what was going on. And then a few days later, they sent me back to Amarillo to have a heart cath done where they can actually go in and scrape and clear out all the blockage. And as I'm laying there on the hospital bed, or on the operation table, I'm wide awake when they're going through this procedure and watching the monitors and stuff, and I'm listening to the doctor tell his helpers that are in there where did it go? It was there 2 days ago. Now it's gone. And I said power of prayer, and then everybody in the operating room said amen. So I got very lucky. So, but I've been taking lots of medications. Body's still not used to it, but I deal with it one day at a time. Well, growing up, I've always had like a sixth sense of dealing with paranormal. I always used to, I used to see spirits and stuff and didn't know it. I just thought it was just people. And as I got older, people were telling me you need to stop talking about it and stop, talking to things that we don't see, because you're going to get put away. And so I did, and being a teenager, you didn't want to be made fun of, so I blocked it out. But a lot of it I wrote in a book that I wrote called A Haunted Life. That's where I got my radio show title. But as for the first negative thing I've ever experienced was back in 2006 when I was working at my nighttime job, and I actually got picked up and thrown about 10 feet into a power box. And that evening, an hour later, that same entity that picked me up and threw me was in my house. And it woke up 8 other spirits from around. I don't know where they came from, but within 24 hours, I had 8 other ghosts in my house that were very agitated, and they were out for one thing, and that's me. And being in this area of Texas where I'm at, there was no paranormal groups at all. The closest one was 6 hours away, and they weren't about to come up for the claims that was going on. And so I'm slowly being taught by different groups and how to catch what was going on to prove my claims were real. You know, I learned how to use digital recorders, IR cameras, everything just about that you can possibly get that was affordable. By the time the first group showed up at my house, I knew more than what they did. And in fact, all of their equipment was failing when all mine that was still set up in the house was still rolling. And all their team members literally got attacked that night, from anywhere from being thrown, bit, knocked down. And basically after that night, that group broke up and never investigated again. And they, so shortly after they called in another group to come in to verify what was going on, and they brought in TextPart, which is part of TAP's family, and they try to reach out to get help because of what they were finding in the house. But luckily, none of them got attacked, just me. But by that time, you know, I've already had started up my group to help other people try to cope with what they may have had in the area. And before long, we were one of the busiest groups in the country. And but since then, since 2007, go ahead. I didn't hear you, Wayne. You know, but since from 2007 when I formed my group till now, we've done over 1,200 cases, and we're just now slowing it down and starting to get time to spend time with our family. Constantly, and it was broadcast live. I used to run cameras 24/7, and people were witnessing stuff at night when I was asleep and also when I wasn't at home. I think it was acknowledgement that it could no longer hide where it was at, and I was able to see it. Twins. I think back twins. Growing up as a child, uh, I was probably around 9, 10 years old, somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly my notes, but there was kids that I used to play that were twins, and they would only come out when it was raining. Yes, boy and a girl, and I used to play with them. And you know, finally, when I told my mother about them, you know, that I wanted to give them some clothes and stuff because they come from a poor family, from what I was able to see, because they always wore the same thing. And when I went to take her to confront them, they disappeared, and I never saw them again. Haunted Entertainment has been up and running for just a little bit over a year. No, it's not all paranormal. We've got all different types of talent on there, from comedians to horror, authors, plus our paranormal, a little bit of everything, because we want to, you know, for whoever, we want to help those to feel for their needs for their events. We even have bands that we represent. I'm trying to get my computer to come up, but I have all different categories. Like I said, we started dabbling with some bands, which we have online now. That I'm gonna try and pull up that page. Authors, writers, we have people that have been dealing with films, our general talent. We got singers, bands, spiritual mediums. There we go. That's not what I wanted, but we have our events that we've been in and we sponsor, or some of our been in. We have paranormal groups that we also sponsor and will represent, which I have to update. We're welcome to put any group on here. It's been out there for at least 2-year minimum. Because this way we know that they're not going anywhere and they'll be around to help people. Then we also have our horror page, which I just started up on our website too. Well, it's not for what I do for them. It's for what they offer to the public and what they can educate them and teach them. Haunted entertainment is probably one of the cheapest, um, well, event planners or people to go in and hire people from, because everybody thinks about people from trying to still bounce back from this recession that we're having, and we don't overcharge everything, and most of my speakers actually don't really have a fee. All they ask for is their travel and expenses taken care of it, and so I'm not really out to make a profit right now. Right now we're just out for me to get these people out there and get known. Some are already known, so those are the ones that do charge something, but we do it for a reasonable rate. And then when we do events, we also charge cheaper than any other events that are out there, at least the major events. We try to just cover enough for our expenses, and that's about it. Well, it's not the first time. We've had a split about 10 months ago. But currently I had another split with my ex-partner, and while I was down and out with my health problems, and I was offline for about a week, and I came back and got an email saying that that my partner was leaving and had released a bunch of my people and over to join her. So to me, it was kind of a stressful shock, but I still have quite a few people. It's something I can live with. I can deal with it. I've been through it before. No big deal. But I am starting to get people that are. But all I can say is I wish them the best of luck and I hope they do well. Okay, with the Stanley Hotel, from all the drama that's going on with people talking about, was haunted entertainment that our Frontier Paracon was going to be the last paranormal event held at the Stanley Hotel. Naturally, of course, I wasn't going to post anything about it yet until we got our facts, but then we started receiving messages from reliable sources out in the field, and we were reading off their posts that they were making public, and of course my ex-partner and I started also following in suit, letting people know that if this is the last chance for them for a paranormal event, at least we were letting people know. We were not trying to take advantage of it in any way. And then when we found out more information, I think because of the overwhelming calls that went in Stanley about the subject, they decided to continue to go ahead and do more paranormal events. So of course we there. At least I made my partner do so.
What you're saying is that
Go ahead.
takes you back to having paranormal events there.
To an extent, from what we were able to see and what we were being told, it's not going to be like it was before, but they are going to have events, but it's just going to be a little bit different.
So you're selling it.
Uh-huh.
Is that something new that Haunted does now?
Well, it was something that I had started back when I started up Haunted Entertainment, right after Frontier Paracon 1. I decided to put a poll out there that had been floating around for about 10, 11 months about different categories for awards to give out. I wanted the people's choice, not just my choice or anything, or just one certain individual's choice. So this is why we did a poll, and like for paranormal group, we had a lot of groups that were nominated for this, but of course I had to take whoever had the most, and it was close. It really was. I think it was a group that had 10 votes over everybody else that on the categories that came out, and of course then they came out and was part of the event. And same thing that went with the other categories that went along. But as these names that were being brought up, like comedian, the best comedian, paranormal comedian that came up. With our winner was Karen Rontowski, and at the time she wasn't even part of Haunted Entertainment when her name came up. And when the votes were pouring in for her, I had talked to her over the phone, and she decided to go ahead and sign with Haunted Entertainment. And of course, I brought her out for this because I told her she was a nominee. And the other nominee that was also for this category was Scott Grunwald, but he wasn't able to make it due to filming. We did not know until the very end, and that he wasn't going to come. But still, Karen Rontowski had won a lot more votes than Scott Grunwald did.
Eyes, I guess. You know what I mean? We can see certain people's friends out there that were winning. You know, like Martha said, how in the world did HPP get an award?
Well, when that question came out, they won by 2 votes over 5 other groups. And like I said, it was people's choice, and that's all it was.
Like it was people in a certain circle that won it. Did you put that out there?
It was posted out on Facebook, like I said, 10 to 11 months prior to the event, and I only had put it out once, and people did follow up on it. And votes at first didn't come out that quickly until I was pushing it a little bit about a month into the polls, and then I just backed off because I would get spurts of people that would go back and look in the archives and stuff about the polls that were out there. And I also talked about it on my radio show. The polls were there. I was in the chat room too, but that was done back in, I'm going to say, Laura may have seemed to favor BHPP, but that wasn't the case when it came to this. Now, she may have had influence with people for voting for it. I don't. Like I said, the votes came in, and that was it. But I'm not going to put the polls out as far as I did with this one. I'm going to do it closer time to whenever we do Frontier Paracon 3, which we haven't decided exactly what we're going to do it yet because it is a moving event. We do have it down between a couple of cities, but we'll see. We're debating either in Florida, New York, or even possibly on the West Coast. Probably because the owner signed with Laura. There is, but a lot of it's just drama in between agencies and stuff, and who can put on a better event, or who can get there before the other one, who can do it for the cheaper, who can have the most people. But the one thing that everybody forgets, it's not about who can get there first. It's who they bring in to educate and entertain the public, and for at the most reasonable cost. Well, Unity right now is something it's kind of blown out of proportion with all the different agencies and stuff that are out there, because they go into events and say this is Unity, and then the next thing you hear is something happen or blow up. I don't know. I tend to stay away from it because the only thing Honda Entertainment wants to do is to make people out there happy and be able to afford to go to these events, where in some cases where even though you got the bigger names or the bigger amounts of people going to be speaking, it's not that reasonable, and it's hard for some people with a real tight budget to be able to go to these events. So this way we do try to keep our numbers down on who is speaking and who we have. Because like I said, the cheaper you can bring somebody in, the cheaper you can charge the public, because you got to make up the cost somewhere, you know. And I don't try to make a profit. I mean, I haven't made any money off this yet, and I don't plan to. This, because like I said, this is about educating the public. If I do this for the you know, the cause of to educate the people out there and not have to go through what I went through back in 2006. Well, the events that my people that are booked to, they do. The ones that I have done, only one with Haunted Entertainment that's been official, and that was Frontier Paracon, and it was also a loss on that. I took a loss on that, so there was no money made. But it was about educating people there again, but still a loss. But I think probably because of the of what went down with the unity and everything you're talking about. Well, this is going to be the last event, and they're not going to do it no more. I think that's what probably hurt us quite a bit for growing a crowd up there. Well, we want everybody to feel welcome at any of our events. You know, I'm not going to be doing any huge events like I did with Frontier Paracon like that, unless, of course, we have somebody that wants to use Haunted Entertainment specifically and use all of our talent. But as for events, we're doing some small stuff. Like in September, we have Hell's Gate Paranormal Hoedown at Bobby Mackey's. And we're keeping it small. Right now we have, let's see, we have Karen Rontowski, she'll be there, Kat Klockow, State Paranormal Investigations, Susan Rushing, Stephanie Rice, plus Cass Gunn, which is Haunted Entertainment's new agent, booking agent, and then myself, and there'll be a couple other people that will get added to the lineup also. But this event is from, let's see here, it's going to be on September 15th from 3 p.m. until 7. And then after that, it's, you know, people that decide that they're going to stay in there, they'll be able to listen to it. Instead of having to pay an additional cost to listen to Bobby Mackey's set, they'll be able to stay in there for free and listen to the thing. Now, when I booked this place, as for ghost hunt wise, because it's a weekend, they don't do the ghost hunts and stuff because of the bar being open until 2 and all that, unless they do something after that. But as to shut down for a weekend to do just a blown out event, we could do it, but it would cost an arm and a leg, like you wouldn't believe. And but we're trying to keep it as cheap as possible. But we are planning on a ghost hunt or something that has to do something near Bobby Mackey's. But also Bobby Mackey's donated 4 ghost hunt tours. So it'll be based on first come, first serve who comes up to the door and sign up for those time slots to go on that tour. And that will be included with the $25 cover charge to get in. Yeah, Sixth Street Massacre, per request of the owner of this place. I just got done being on TV on Bio Channel for my ghost story caught on camera, and I was talking about Sixth Street Massacre, which is one of the most haunted businesses, small businesses in this area that I've been to. And my group went in 3 years ago to investigate it, and we were able to confirm 21 spirits and 1 demonic type child spirit in the house, in the building. And because the place is now used for a haunted house for Halloween, of course the owner says all the spirits can stay because they help scare the people, and they do. So, but it's a lot of fun, and this will be the first actual ghost hunt tour that we're doing since it's broadcast on TV. Yeah, she's also a co-host of my radio show. She goes by Cass Gunn. She goes by many different last names because she is a very huge Canadian celebrity. So she changes her last name like some people change their socks. So, but she goes by Gunn mostly. Okay, it's on Z-Talk Radio on Sundays. It's a video show at from 7 to 9 p.m. Central time zone, and it does get put in the archive and automatic play after. You know, if people miss it, they can watch it. I had a lot of them that got deleted by accident. I don't know how. And that's why I was surprised, because I had you, and then you were gone, and then your husband was on there, and I was like, what happened, you know? So, but well, you're back friendless now.
What new changes are you putting on for Hot Entertainment?
Hot Entertainment's going to lean towards more horror events. Anything that we do with the paranormal, they're going to talk a lot about the scarier stuff and cases that they've worked on. As for horror part, we're hiring on now. We're starting to bring in horror stars. I've been working with some of the other horror agencies out there, where we're going to be doing event swaps, to where some of our people will get to go to their events and speak, and they're going to send me some of theirs. Heck yes. Yes, we are. I do still represent Scott Grunwald. I gave him some ideas, but they ended up costing, and so that was a no. As StuCon, he already had his people already picked who's going to be there before even picking the place. The place he didn't even know, and we had, like I said, we talked back and forth about certain locations. And at one time, he had talked about a haunted airport. Then he talked about Wolf Manor. Then he talked about possibly going back down to Los Angeles to the hospital again, like he did last year. And then he said, well, that may not be a good idea. So, of course, it went back and forth and back and forth. So, I don't even know if he has got a place solid yet, because I haven't been keeping up on it. As soon as I can find a cheap enough place.
There's a place that we actually, it's right down the street in Vista. So close to Vista.
Probably because StuCon don't make a profit out of this. Even last year when he had StuCon, when I came out to his event, which was a very interesting event, because I got to actually stay there in the hospital with Scott and Glenn. We slept in the psych ward the whole weekend when we were there. But as for money-wise, he didn't make any money. In fact, he just barely broke even, and I think whatever money that they did make, I think they did donate it to something, but I'm not exactly for sure what it was. Scott. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Did you get any tattoos when you were there? I heard there was a makeshift tattoo shop right there at StuCon last year.
No, I didn't. I came close to it, but no, I didn't get one there, but I did get one at Paracon. We had a tattoo artist that was there and did a big skull on my chest with smoke and everything, for representing for, I guess, for my paranormal. It was just something I saw that was cool and decided I was going to get one. I did that because of the churches around this area did not support our group for helping out families that were in need for giving blessings in their homes, or assisting to try to remove spirits that are possibly there. Basically, just for the blessings. This is enough. Even though a blessing doesn't always work, but it doesn't hurt. But at least it gives more of a peace of mind to the families that are out there that need to have this done. Like I said, a lot of the churches around here didn't have the faith for coming in for doing exorcisms when it was needed, or like I said, with the blessings, unless they were part of the church. And even when there were some demonic cases that we had to go in and work in, they claimed that churches come in to bless the house, and it got worse. And because of to me, it was the faith was not behind what they were practicing. I still have my regular group. I have new team members now. I still have a couple of my old team members, which is Joe and Lisa Ballard. Those are my original bunch that I still have left. Everybody else is new on the team, because after doing as many cases as we do, they get burnt out, and or they go off and they branch out and start their own groups. But most of those groups that went and branched out are no longer around, and then of course they just burn out. And I do bring in new people all the time to help investigate with us, but only I'm not just going to grab anybody off the street. They go through a series of questionings, and basically like applying for a job. They have to have the right reasons to go into the field to help out these families. I'm not going to just take anybody into somebody's home.
Chat that we're asking, what exactly can they do to sign with Common Entertainment?
Well, and in what way? Are they wanting to speak, or are they wanting to be represented as a legit group? Like I said, the minimum requirements is to have your team active for at least 2 years, and still be strong and going. That's all I really require. If they want to get with me, they can email me or contact me on Haunted Entertainment on the link there, or get my email, and they can send me their group logo and stuff, and I'll be more than happy to put them up.
What year did you write your book, Haunted Life?
I wrote it in 2006. Oh yeah, I started taking notes and everything that was going on while everything was going what was going on in the house, and even got the book published just before I moved down. And then I kind of was rushed with the book because I was being asked to go out to Florida to do an event out there, and I needed to have something with me, and they were pushing for the book. So it was a short story, but it was good. Everything in there was very true, very factual, what went on. And I tried to start a book too, and dummy me didn't save everything to an external hard drive, and I lost about 300 pages of my book when my computer crashed. They can go to Amazon. That's the best place to get it. It is Amazon, and look up Daniel Guthrie, A Haunted Life.
Sparkle money wants to know, did you use a ghostwriter?
No, I didn't. Believe it or not, there are ghostwriters out there, but no, I didn't. If it's an audio, you may have to go to Bookstand Publishing. I don't know if they have it in audio or not. Yeah, we just signed Paul Bradford from Ghost Hunters International, and we've already got things lined up for him. We're working on it, and we're in the process of it. Nothing's confirmed yet, but he may be seen shortly before long at one of the Paranormal Fest events. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you liked her. She definitely goes, let's just say, you never run out of any words with Cass, because she's got plenty to say. But she has been a huge help since the split, getting things back on track. And basically, I had to give her some time off because she was going nuts with not sleeping. Yeah, so I'm like, get some rest, Cass. Take a few days off, and we'll talk. In fact, we started talking today after her being on a break for a few days, and she's like, I needed that. And I said, you need a lot more than just those couple of days, trust me, because it is a lot of work to run your regular day job and come home and then sit down and try to run an agency. And then for Cass, besides working with my agency, she also has her own modeling agency that she runs and books model stuff for commercials and ads for newspapers and stuff.
How was that?
Pretty strict. It was the Camden Military Academy at the time was the most disciplined, strictest military school in the United States.
Did you solicit any clearance or anything like that when you were there at that time?
Oh yes, because being in South Carolina and being on an old military base, definitely. I saw a lot of residual stuff while I was there. I used to actually volunteer to do night guard duty, and so that way you have to walk the premises and make sure watch for people from AWOL. But you would see residual battles going on, and hearing the muskets and gunshots going off, and seeing the flashes out in the woods. So it was pretty cool.
That's why I wanted to meet you.
So then I was wondering, during these few months,
Not to me, not to me at all. Not when I've heard stuff come from other places, but I'm saying whatever. I don't care. If I says if you're going to go over there and listen to their shows, stuff like that, and don't have anything nice to say about it, don't tell me about it because I'm not going to get middle of all that. Yes, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, a lot of it was being run by Laura and whoever was doing some of the booking. I would find, the locations for people to uh, go to, for booking our people and get everything lined up. And then because I was working nights, I wasn't able to get this information over. I mean, me working days and not being able to work the agency at night, during the daytime because my day job, I would give her the information to get with the people that were putting these events together to sign off these contracts. So anything that was said in between that, I have nothing, no knowledge to that what went on. I'm not going to have a
because
partner
it
again.
depends.
I got screwed. I got screwed over. That's the last time. A long time. Bobby Mack. I actually purchased the location or rented out my time slot back in what was it, January. So it's here it is at the middle of summer, and the event's not until September. Other events that we do work with other sometimes they're within a year's planning. So a lot of times they don't get it announced until when it gets closer to date.
Yeah, so, do you have anything coming up for Halloween?
Not yet. At this time, if I do something for Halloween, it'll most likely be local because we do a lot of stuff with Sixth Street Massacre, and because of that being the month that the building is open that are in the building. If people have seen the actual show, they'll know why I kind of stay close. Because I do talk about how some of the actors and actresses in the building do get attacked. So, my team is usually present anytime that they're open to be in there to help out with whatever goes on in there. What we're looking for is new places that hasn't been or done with other agencies that have been overrun. So we want fresh new looks. People are getting tired of going to the same places and seeing the same people. So this is what we're looking for: new places and people that are like locations like museums and stuff that are willing to work like with donations or a percentage of ticket costs. We don't want to go somewhere where they want, okay, you want to come here, it's going to cost you $10,000 to book a place. I'm not going to do that anymore. Because usually when you got to spend that much money and then by the time you bring in your talent and everything else, you're looking at 30 to 40 grand, and it's going to be really hard to make that kind of money back, especially right now with the way the economy is.
That's kind of cool.
He's got some, the actual video that he uses for his promos when he does his lectures is I was present when he did that. It was one where we went in and did a case in Juana, Texas, where this family was being tormented by something upstairs in their duplex house that they had. Basically, the parent lived downstairs and the kids lived upstairs, and but there was bad things that was going on up there, and we went in and we found a demon up there, and basically it didn't like either one of us. It would throw stuff at me and slam doors in his face, and that went on throughout the day. Even setting up, I even had one of my camcorders chunked across the room at me and nearly hit me. Luckily, I didn't think I could move that fast to duck away out of the way of a camera. That says Parahor. That is from the original StuCon, the very first one. No, I didn't. I wasn't able to go to that one, but I've got everybody's signatures on it, but you can't see it because of the way it's written. But I wanted to be there, but I was under the weather. Parahor actually started out as a joke with Scott Grunwald is going around, but it's somebody that can't get enough paranormal events and paranormal celebrities. I have my regular shirt too, but that's just one of the shirts I try wearing around town. And being here in the Bible Belt, you get some pretty funny looks. So especially when you wear it on Sundays and you go around town and go into one of these nice restaurants where people come in wearing these ties and nice dresses, and here I am wearing Parahor, and they're all like, "What?" So I get some strange looks.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever been interested in like some kind of maybe the event or even science or entertainment that has to do like UFOs or anything like that?
I am. It's just finding the right people that are willing to cross over into the paranormal uh, side of it to where they can come to these lectures. Usually, when you get your UFO uh, lecturers, they usually stick with just the UFO venues. Now, I do have cryptozoologist on board, who's also a country singer, Chris Allen. Um, and he does speak, about Bigfoot, and unless you want to hear him sing one way or the other, he is signed with us. Everybody that you saw that spoke at Frontier Paracon on the videos and stuff, those were all haunted entertainment people, because that was one thing that I made very clear with Frontier Paracon, that certain one that we just did, that it's all haunted entertainment people, because it was kind of like, okay, people, here is haunted entertainment, our people, our lecturers that are out there, and the first 22 people that actually got with me were the ones I was able to take care of with their rooms for the event. But as for travel and stuff, because of the high cost of booking the Stanley, I wasn't able to cover for anybody's, to come in, for travel expenses and stuff or fees. It was all waived.
Signed with you?
They're not signed with anybody as far as I know.
Yes, they are.
Well, actually, only part of them are, because I talked the founder of Paranormal Hot Squad, and she's not signed with anybody. Oh, one more announcement too. We have an event called CasaCon that is going to happen next spring in Florida. We're looking at Tampa Bay. So that one there, it will be outside people that are coming in for speakers. Actually, it's all people that that cast is already picked. I think there's only going to be 2 or 3 people that are with Haunted Entertainment that's going to be there, but everybody else, they're coming from all different parts of the world to come in to speak.
out here in Southern California.
Okay. Thank you for having me.